okay, across the seas. What happened? What did you do next?
Actually, my niece was with me, and she's like my pal girl. So I called her. I was like, guess what? She said, what? I was like, oh, somebody just leaked my video. Because she looked up to me like a mom. So I wanted for her to have that first on talk instead of start spraying out or whatever it is. So I kind of put myself together. I called certain friends that I trusted, my besties. I called them, which I have like 5 guys and one.
I don't even want to cut you off, but at what point in time did you pick up the phone and call the man?
The man.
The person that you sent
Okay,
the shit.
I didn't call him. I had texted him.
Okay.
I had texted him because at that time he was at work.
Okay.
So when I texted him, he was like, I'm at work, I'm in the office. So I was like, well, whatever you're doing, you need to get off that day in the office and call me or video chat ASAP. And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, well, something that we did in private is out. And it's all about me. So we need to talk. And that's when he was like, oh, I'm going to call you back, I'm going to call you back, I'm going to call you back. I said, no, we ain't going to do no calling back. You either A, answer, or B, somebody else going to come to your job. And right then and then, that's when he started texting. Like, oh, you remember I was in the accident and blah, 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 blah. I said, yes. Well, when I went to go retrieve my stuff, my phone was missing. So at that point, I was like, that kind of makes sense. But then, I kind of checked back. Boo-boo, no. You was in the army.
Okay.
So, you know how to hide stuff. So, how that happen?
But forget about the army. Did you all have other videos as well?
Yes.
Okay, so how is it possible that my video, my picture got leaked and
nothing
our video
together,
never yours?
Yeah.
Because nothing. I'm assuming that was the only video that was leaked.
Well, he actually put majority everything out.
But the thing
He
is,
or the person?
according to him, the
who
person.
leaked it.
According to whatever it was at that time before I got my story and my facts correct,
Right.
he had the first video that came out.
Right.
And then after that, the next following week, the second video came out.
Okay.
So it was actually 2 videos and a collage picture.
Of you.
Yes.
Just you?
But
Just
never
you?
him.
Never him.
So if someone actually got his phone, the person was targeting you, your
Well, I guess
picture.
so. At that
And your
point,
video?
yes. At that point, yes.
Okay,
At
but
that point, yes.
Okay,
So
so
he was in a car accident. I'm sorry, he was in a car accident in Liberia, correct? Or
Yes.
and
in a country of 3 million people, okay, you're involved in a car accident, somebody steals your phone. What is the likelihood that this person would be able to even identify you in a video?
how long have you been out of Liberia?
Oh, since 96.
So almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years.
But apart from that, knowing the day and age we live in, you have a phone, you have these intimate pictures and videos. Wouldn't your phone be locked? Have some kind of password? I'm not.
Right. We're not saying
and how you
he's
got
guilty
it,
or anything, but those are questions.
That's the
That
questions
will
they
go
know.
through
And that's the
Right.
question I asked him.
So, or do you believe him?
No.
After you did your investigation, what
Well,
what was the
did you
conclusion?
find out?
Right.
I found out that he put it out himself.
Okay, to people.
Yeah. He was bragging.
Okay.
He
We
was
said
bragging.
bragging specifically.
When I
about-
say bragging, my girlfriend is bad. She this. See her body? And point of correction, I was so comfortable with him, until I allowed myself to step back and show a little bit of my face because I was already comfortable with him.
So you
At
were
that point.
comfortable,
But I
trust
don't-
him and stuff, things like that, comfortable and trust him because
Yeah.
something like that is very intimate and it's very, you know, you have to trust somebody to even go that far. So,
And that's what I'm saying. This is somebody that I already knew
I love
for a
making
long
some crazy
time.
things.
So
okay.
I mean, it was so easy for me to let my guy
Okay,
down.
Which is understandable.
So many
because
questions
I'm
is coming
pretty
running through
sure
my head.
Right.
there are so many women. Let's make the point that there's so many women.
Right.
Even though it might not be a sexually explicit video, but you take sexually explicit, taking
Pictures,
photos or
right.
even photos that are kind of borderline inappropriate, and you share it with somebody because ultimately you trust that person, and you wouldn't assume that
The person went.
it would end up in someone else's hands.
Yeah.
I guess my question now, to kind of fast forward it and bring it to center
Today's
stage, is
conversation.
it made it onto social media, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it made it true WhatsApp.
WhatsApp,
Yeah,
okay.
because the internet in Liberia, WhatsApp goes faster than
Okay.
Facebook.
Oh.
Okay, did it ever make it to Facebook?
It made it to Facebook, but it made it in inbox.
Okay,
Nah.
on Facebook.
On
Facebook
download
site.
onto Facebook itself.
Okay, so now, when this circulated and became public information, what was the response that you got from people within your community
Yep.
and outside of the community?
Pretty much, it was kind of, some of them were kind of positive
Mm-hmm.
because they know my personality, they know me,
Mm-hmm.
some of them, and some of them was negative.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them that I can still record,
Mhm.
she was like, "Oh, I didn't know you can do that." I was like, "What you mean you don't know I can do that? Are you in my bedroom? Do you know what I do behind closed door?"
Mm.
So I cut her off real quick. I was like, I dare you approach me in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
My video might be out, my picture might be out, but you're not gonna talk to me like that. And you don't know me,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm capable of doing. You can even be talking to a murderer you would never know. So you do not approach me in any form or matter like that.
Can you
So-
understand? Can you understand how if somebody grew up in a certain fashion, a certain way where women carry themselves in a different way, that particular thing is prohibited. They're like they inhibit themselves, right? So they're not exposed to that kind of like. It's kind of like, I don't want to bring it to that point, but if you grew up thinking that women are supposed to carry themselves a certain way, women are supposed to present a certain image, especially for a woman that has children, a single mother, and to see that video out there of her, can you understand where she was coming from, that she didn't actually like surprised that particular thing happened, because we don't know what goes on in everybody's bedroom. But the minute it comes out, because it's out, it gives us something to talk about.
And it's on social media gives people an opportunity
Right.
to speak on what happens.
Right.
in
I'm not
people's
saying
personal
she was
lives.
right. That's not what I'm saying. But can you understand
I
where she's
understand
coming from?
I understand where she was coming from.
Okay.
I understand where she's coming from.
But I guess where
especially I know the person, so she's no better in a better position to come at me like that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just because
All
her
right.
video
Yeah.
or
So
something.
that's where we've come and introduce the whole bullying thing, because there are
Yeah.
people who who they are,
Yeah.
Right.
and because your story is out there, and I'll be the first to say this, I'm guilty of it, right? I'm guilty of it, not in a way that people who would call Laureen or who would write on Facebook and say she's a slut or call her all these provocative names. I'm guilty of the fact that if I got a video, I shared the video. And that makes me just as guilty as
Yeah.
the person who put the video out on
Yeah,
Facebook
exactly.
or who put it out on social media. And for that, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry, because I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
But that is what that is how we've been taught in society.
Yeah.
Later do we understand that that's a form of bullying as well.
Yes,
Right.
it is. It is.
We are fueling that fuel.
Yeah.
We're giving
giving it
fuel.
life.
We're
Yeah.
giving it life when we share it,
Because
and that is what we
spreading the-
want to.
yeah.
We want to start among us sisters.
So kind of and talk about that. Okay, so with everything, you know how people talk. Things talk brain in like brain way we say talk brain talk.
Yeah.
Because some would say, well, Laureen is attention seeking. Because one video came out. Then Laureen is still on Facebook. Laureen is not broken by that first video. Another video comes out. Laureen is still moving on, and being a stronger person. And now people will say, oh, she wants to be famous. She wants to be the next Kim Kardashian. She wants to be the next big name. But what held you to still be so alive, so willing to still be who you are regularly? So,
First of all, I don't want to be Kim Kardashian. I live in Black Hollywood, ATL. So if I wanted to put my video out, I know connection.
Okay.
So I was coming to do that. But that was not the case.
The case.
And the reason why I didn't hide myself, because I know a couple of people who've been in that situation that when it came out, they went in hiding. And I felt that no, I'm not going to hide myself. I'm not going to degrade myself. I'm not going to put myself in a position that other people around the world will make me to do something that my children will end up losing their mom. So I stayed on Facebook. I stayed on all my social media because I'm a social media junkie, people who knows me. So I was current on that. I made fun of it. Because some of the stuff I was like, oh my God, in one day I got like 600.
I was just about to talk about your post afterwards.
Something like that will make someone from the outside see it. Oh, they get it's attention seeking because you're glorifying the likes.
Not only that, they'll feel you're not bothered.
Yes, I made them to feel that I'm not bothered.
You know, I like the fact that you say you stayed there because you didn't want people to change you or to send you in hiding. But what I don't understand is you staying there and making light of the situation wasn't really, in my perspective, right? Wasn't really giving it a view where you're like, okay, so you all saw that part of me. Let me show you another part of me. Give me the opportunity to show you another part of me. I'm a loving mom. I'm a this. I'm a that. I mean, you did that for a while, but then you came back again with making little, the sexy videos and stuff like that. So, I'm confused when I'm like, okay, I sympathize with Lauren. You know what I mean? I empathize with Lauren, what she's going through. I wouldn't want to go through it because if it was me, dig myself a hole. Done. Not going to be bothered with it. I'm going to go seek help for myself. Right?
Because the thing too, people deal with stuff differently.
Right, that's what I'm asking. I personally, I didn't understand why.
So, okay, first of all, I did that because that's how I would deal with my own stuff. People know me being a great mother. Okay, so as that coming up, they kind of like, oh wow, that's another side of her. We don't know. We all know the mommy Lorraine and stuff like that. We don't picture her doing any sexual act or any sexual because she's a mom, she should know better. So nobody was expecting that coming from me as somebody who has 3 kids.
The recording stops after a while. It's hot.
What's the hour?
No, we didn't go to the hour.
So let's try and wrap it up in a way.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up. But we didn't even ask her, what did her family say?
Yeah,
how did her? Because first of all, I wanted to ask, so how did you feel? Were you unbothered? One, how did your family react? How did your kids react? And
we're making video.
What advice do you have for women who go through things like this? Let's wrap it up. Yeah, we get into
video files on the school.
Space.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So where are we starting from?
The question you're about to ask.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3.
So Lorraine, I guess what I want to know is, how did you feel? Were you unbothered?
Yes, I were. I was at the point that
At least people hear your story, because the thing is, women, as you said, are culprit of this. They see another sister, and we do this not knowing what somebody may be going through, and that's the reason why it may seem like we want to get your story out there as clean and come from a different perspective, so people know, that Lauren is not this attention-seeking person. Lauren is not this person who want to be a porn star, whatever people are saying out there. But Lauren is a mother who has a child with special need, and she caters to him. And with that, Lauren is putting so much energy in her kids, but sometimes being a loving person, she want to express herself in other ways, So,
I was at a point that I went in my closet. I was like, it's worth it. It's like I was crying for help inside, but I didn't want
The
the
world.
world to know what I was crying for. And then I called a couple of people that know me very well. And I was like, you know what? It's time for me to pray. It's time for me to get on my knees. And it's time for me to be the mommy and not be the exposing ones and stuff like that.
Right.
So I started reading my Psalm 91 and I started asking God, I said, God, let tomorrow be a better day. Let tomorrow be something that I look forward to. And I was in the closet and I was crying. And I saw this like a belt. I was like, if I put this around my neck, if I just pulled it up, and everything would be okay. I don't have to explain nothing. I don't have to, because I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep for like almost 2 weeks. And I was like, okay. But then I heard a knock on the door. And the knock was, Mommy.
Oh my God.
I was like, who's that? And then my son Kingston came and said, what are you doing? So I tried to wipe my face. I was like, oh my gosh. I said, okay. Mommy, why are you crying? I was like, Mommy, somebody did something really, really bad to Mommy. And Mommy at the point that she don't even want to be here. And then he says that. So if you don't be here, who going to take care of us? Okay, you know Daddy do a good job, but you do an awesome job, Mommy. So I said, okay. So he said, well, I'm going to leave so you can handle this. And that's my
is your older son?
No, my older son do not talk. He's nonverbal. That's the middle one.
Son. Okay.
So he ran outside. I thought he was going to close his mouth, but no. He went and told.
And call his siblings.
He went and called the one that act just like me, which is CJ. He was like, so Mommy, I dare you. Coming to, what you gonna do?
Oh my God.
I was like, oh, nothing. So why are you crying? I was like, oh, nothing. Okay, you got 2 seconds, wipe your face, and we hungry. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, snap right back into mommy
So
mode.
I snapped right back into mommy thing, and
That saved.
that saved me.
So how are you now? How are you now with all
Did
of
you
that?
get any help? Did you talk to anybody?
Anybody?
I had lots,
Counseling?
Anything?
believe it or not, I had a lot of people on Facebook that encouraged me through my inbox. A lot.
Wow. So social media, again, the same social media that was used as the medium to shame you is the same social media that
Used to
is
comfort
used
you.
to comfort you.
Yes.
But apart from social media, you know, with everything that's happened, is there anything we can do as your sisters? You know, if it's for us to pay for maybe 1 or 2 days where you can just talk to somebody, get everything out there. Is that something you're interested
No,
in?
I'm good. Because
You
I counsel myself. I counsel myself through praying. I counsel myself through.
Laurie, let me stop you. That is very good that you counsel yourself through prayer, through prayers and, but there is nothing more than seeking help from somebody that don't know you.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
don't
judge you.
Yep.
Somebody that God can speak through. It doesn't have to be a therapist. It could be a counselor. It could be a pastor.
Oh no, I had one.
Okay,
which
so
was,
you did.
Which was my close friend.
Okay, so you did.
She
Okay.
and him walked me through so many
Okay.
things.
Okay.
And every day it was a different phone call
Okay.
and different topic.
Okay. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So your family, how did your family? Did you have that family support?
Pretty much already the end. I had a family support, small group, and the other group was them. It was like, you should know better. You're innocent. You should know better.
How many names?
So
That's like a big shoe that you have to fit.
yeah, I had a big shoe to fit in, and then first of all, I had a little small group of my family member who had reached out to me and call me every day to see how I was doing and make sure I was doing fine. But at the rest of the family, like I said, everybody got a skeleton in the closet.
Right.
Don't come at me like that.
Right. So the fact that this came out, right? Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently?
Don't do it again. Just know who you're talking to, and
Do you really know the person? Because my mom says this all the time. They've been married for almost close to 40 years, right? And my mom tells me every day she's learning something about my dad. You really don't know the person.
Right.
I think what you said from the beginning is what I would, if I had gone through that, that would be my advice to anybody else. You know, like moving forward, the camera and all that other stuff, we have to be careful, because let me tell you, it could be in your phone. It doesn't have to happen where you send it to somebody. I had a friend who told me where somebody could send you a text with a link, and if you open that link, that person that sent you that text has access to your entire phone, all your pictures and everything. So it doesn't matter whether you're sending it to somebody or not. My advice is, in the world we live in, technology is friendly and also not friendly. And I would do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when I stood in front of the mirror and I made a vow to myself, and that vow is private, and I can keep it with me. But one of my main things, like I said, I had my supportive fans, I had my family, I had my close friends, I had people who would say, but my main reason overall was my ex-husband. I was seeking for his knowledge, because knowing him, you know, he's the man of wisdom and everything, and I was scared to tell him. But after I had sat down with him and told him everything, I felt relief. I didn't really care about my mom. I didn't really care about what my dad said. I didn't really care about what any other family member said. But my main point was my ex-husband, what he was going to say, and he's going to take my children from me. That was my focus point right now.
And people forget that when they're going to attacks on Facebook and on, you know, the different social media, we forget that these people are actually human beings. They actually have families. They have children that are depending on them.
And then people will say, okay.
But we don't think about it. I hope this show will be something that will make you at home sit down and think about your actions before you hit send. Because once you hit send, it's out there. And to those who receive pictures, don't send it to anybody. Please, when you're on Facebook and you hear, oh, there's a new picture out, there's a new there's a new person out, there's videos, please tell them no, don't send it to me.
So Lorraine, is there anything you would want to say, any words of wisdom for anybody who goes through something like this? If this should happen to someone else, anything you would tell them?
I mean, for whosoever that out there, the pictures and video or whatsoever sexual things that are leaking, don't crawl up in the shell. Always have some person that you can go to, and they're not going to judge you. They're just going to make you feel better. And you always want to get a point and say, can tomorrow be a better day? God, today was not good, but let me go forward. Let my self-esteem build up. Let me value myself and everything else. And you get on your knees and pray. That's what I did. I had my few friends, and I had my Bible, and then I had to encourage myself. And I started watching Iana on Oprah. Yes, you know, fix my life. I did it when I was divorced. I watched her show, and I did it when I lost my son's father to cancer. I watched her show, and then, you know, this whole incident again, I had to go back to her to watch her show, because at some point I have to really get to my point to tell her to say that, oh, you know what, probably it was something that God was telling me, that Lauren, you need to stop, and you need to value yourself more, because if you don't value yourself, that's what's going to happen.
Well, Lauren, we always try to let anybody who come on our couch to have the opportunity to take a pledge towards being a sister, towards supporting sisterhood. So this is your moment. Although we'll have the full pledge later on our Facebook page. So here's your moment
To pledge.
to make your pledge.
Okay, I pledge to be a sister keeper and motivate people, young women, and go the extra notch to talk to people who is down in depression and everything else. And that is my pledge.
Because
We do this
yes,
because we are our sister's keeper.
thank you.